Well, the Meander River itself, in what we call the headwaters, is some of the most crystal clear water you can find, and then drops down through pastoral sections where it really just slows down. There's lots of trailing weed beds and then lots of insect activity. So the upper section of the Meander River, just below the dam, is quite recently just opened up to anglers. Opened up my eyes because you've got some great insect activity of a morning there where fish are sort of up in the bubble lines, and then you've got all the pocket water in between as well. So it's it's a pleasure to fish.
He's on. He'll be OT. How good's this to be nestled in a little Tasmanian river setting, found trout, sipping dry flies. Oh. I mean, this sort of landscape is really the essence of some of the wilder rivers in Tasmania as well. Immersed in the solitude, can do wonders for the soul. How's the serenity? This particular fly's got quite a bit of deer hair in it, and it floats quite well, especially good for some of these windier days and riffly water, and especially if you're hanging something underneath. This scruffy fly usually does the job. Sometimes a fish will come and have a look at it, but it'll also help the fly underneath float. Oh, look at the snowflakes. Snowing in summer. So I'm just changing my rig here. I've fished a little bit of this water, but it's quite deep and quite roughly, so I've gone a longer leader with a heavier nymph, and I'm going to pop it up through and see if we can find any fish, because it's a very typical spot for a trout to be hiding. Come on, show us what you're made of. Man, if I was a fish, I would absolutely climb all over it. Can't for the life of me understand why there wouldn't be a fish in here. Truth be known, there is. There actually is. There he is. So, finally uncovered one just by searching a bit of water and a bit deeper. And it's just what we wanted. Yep. So, there's a little fish sipping on the edge over there, and it's just fishing upstream. Heard a splash out behind me, and there he was. Yep, only a little squeaker, but he's taken the dropper underneath. It's always good to see a fish, especially when conditions are pretty challenging. Oh, here we go. Get my fish rising up through this section over the weed. Oh, he sat underneath. No, didn't want it. Yep. Ah. Sometimes they come off.
We really are quite fortunate in Tasmania to have a great number of creeks and rivers all across the state. But for someone who hasn't spent a lot of time on the Meander, it really is a special place to be able to explore a few different facets of the river and completely different personalities of the river from the headwaters right through to the bottom end. And it's a classic place to go and fish, to spend time with your mates. And if you haven't done it before, I strongly suggest you get out there and get involved, because it's a magical place.
We'll get there soon, we'll get there soon. We could be any place.